Music, one of the most remarkable fruits of human civilization. It rolls tears down in somber moments and lifts up spirits in jovial ones, playing the ultimate role of touching and influencing the human soul. Can music be meaningful? Can it change things? Can it give hope? There is a man, a dream chaser, a musician, somebody who is using music to bring hope to many. This is the story of Fredokiss and the power of his music. Fredokiss, they call him. Once a little ghetto boy, he has grown into a remarkable man with a name. Born Fred Penjani Galua in Lilongwe, Fredokiss began his musical journey in the late 90s, the succeeding years of the global hip-hop music golden age. While America was crawling with big names like DMX, Jay-Z, P. Diddy, Malawi was just giving birth to her own breed of MCs.
I was born in Lilongwe, I think in the 80s. I grew up in Lilongwe. My mother was a civil servant, but then my father was jobless. He was unemployed. So at some point in time, he moved to SA. After that, I remember, I think I was told as a little one, I also went to SA. And then in the 90s, my father, he was part of the political movement that was pushing for democracy in Malawi, because back then it was a one-party state, so he was one of the pioneers that started pushing for the multi-party democracy move. So we came back to Malawi as a little boy, I think, me and my twin sister, I think in 1991. So I was staying with my grandmother. So we were staying in the house, uncles, aunties, cousins, the grandmother. So it was a big family living in a house. It was a small house in Chirimba.
Here is Chirimba, the place where Penjani has grown up. This house was built around 1989 and 1990. It was built using mud bricks, we call it in Shawa Zidina. That time we were building this house, Penjani was still in South Africa living with his parents. He joined us in 1991 from South Africa. He came with his mom. Later, we were joined by his father from South Africa. During that time when we were living here around 1990, we had no water. We were taking pails and getting water from the Chirimba River. He started his standard 1 primary school at Chirimba Primary School. He was coming from this house. Together in this house, we were living around 8 people. I myself, my mom, that is his grandma, Hilda, his uncle, Hilda's uncle. Together almost we are 8. It was at least a hard and tough time to be where he is now. Yes, he got a lot of experience from his background.
Chichiri Secondary School was not just a place where Fredo learned his first algebra or basic biology. It was a breeding ground for a career nobody saw coming. Yes, including his older brothers who inspired him with their rap and raga.
I never saw myself as an artist until this other day I remember my big brother got suspended from school, Ken Jesco. He got suspended from school and he brought a Tupac cassette. And then I was listening to Me Against the World. And then he was singing along to Me Against the World. He was singing along to Tupac. And then the content, we could relate with the content. We could hear Tupac speaking to us. My big brother had a friend, Jolly Bro, JB. He's a childhood friend. He's like a brother of mine. I think he also had a big influence on me on becoming an artist.
Fredokiss started way back when he was young. When we were growing up, I used to watch him perform with my older brother, Jasco, Ken, and JB. So we'd go to events like back in the days we used to have these other groups, Black Life, Macobid and Company. Those groups, they used to organize shows at French Culture, and sometimes we'd have events at the trade fair. So every time I would go, I would watch them perform. They'll take maybe sometimes Tupac's lyrics and they'll perform, and sometimes I would be copying them. So we grew up like that. It was a family full of, I should say, artists, because we had JB on the side, we had Fredokiss, we had Jasco. So even when we were at high school, we used to have variety shows. So every time we'd have a show at school, one of the artists to perform was my brother. So we'd be there at the backstage cheering him up. So eventually I saw him develop his career into something serious, because at first we'd think he was just doing it for fun. And I remember my uncles, my mom, sometimes they would be concerned, like trying to tell him to put a mark between his school and the music, but you just see him concentrate on both. He would give it like 50-50, the school, the music. So eventually we watched him grow from that youngster who was copying Tupac to what he is now, a big artist.
True story. Serious thing maziwa. H.Dotty. Fredokiss. Mezi makarira kuno. Dream sound record.
Mapanzi kutupa, kutuluka tukuta. Deile kuguba mani zintu zikushupa.
Strong passion, hard work, and determination kept the native secondary students' music dreams alive. Fredokiss declared in his heart that he is going to make a name in the music industry. The journey had just begun. A few years later, Fredokiss stepped his feet on Chancellor College's campus, an academic achievement that proved vital to his music quest. The boy was slowly becoming a man. College gave him the much-needed experience and maturity.
My educational background has affected my music in terms of maybe concepts. I think it has helped me even in terms of how I choose to position myself in the music industry. I think education per se has played a role in shaping the direction, I would say, in shaping the approach, in shaping how we handle branding issues, in shaping how we interpret specific outcomes.
In his second year of college, Fredokiss released Basi and Woza music videos, which enjoyed massive airplay on both local and international airwaves. The Dreamer had just passed the litmus test. For the rest of his college years, Fredokiss kept pushing the boundaries. He explored and experimented with music and worked closely with established musicians to learn more secrets of the trade.
I've known Fredokiss for a long time. I think way before he was famous. And our first project, we worked on our first project. Back then, the way we used to do music, it was just for fun, because mind you, we did not get enough airplay, so they will not put our music on rotation. So we just make music for fun, just to express ourselves. Of course, we didn't know that it would become that big, this big. But you know, we were just pushing, just making music so that we can feel good about ourselves. We had a story to tell, and we were telling it. So yeah, what really struck me back then was slowly, as we were putting out our music, people were starting to fall in love with the music. You know, they really loved the message in the music, and especially the youth. They really gravitated towards the message in the songs and the music itself.
We grew up music-wise. We grew up in an era where Malawian music, more especially the music that is being put out by young ones, the modern music of today, I think it had no face. There were a few artists who had come out. We had Real Elements, we had Bantu Comrades, we had Basemate. There were a lot of these artists who were coming out with Malawian music that was taking the American approach. So it was hip hop. We used to call it hip hop, R&B. So it was borrowed music. So for us, we'd release songs, give it to DJs, and then we wouldn't get airplay, because even when we got airplay, I think no one noticed that it was Malawian music because we were more of imitators. So there was a time when we started experimenting with our own language, because before we used to use English a lot. So we started experimenting with Chichewa, our own languages now, vernacular. So we started putting out songs that included Chichewa words. And then that's when they started noticing this.
I'll give you an example. The word kenge. This is a word that started on the underground. It started with Fredokiss, just throwing the word around. It's all good, kenge, And suddenly now it's something that everybody knows. So the influence this is the evidence of the influence, because you can actually see that now it's a word that everybody is using, even the older people, the youngsters, everybody uses the word. But this is a word that came from Fredokiss and us.
It is May 22nd, 2012. Fredokiss releases the highly successful Kundicha Fredo, a debut masterpiece that made him the Ghetto King. Kundicha Fredo became a benchmark and booked Fredokiss a place in the 5-star lounge of Malawi hip-hop. But it was not just the rhythm and bars that won people's hearts. It was the words behind the music.
If you take a look at Fredokiss's music, he's designed his music in a way that they should tackle a certain issue or have a certain concept that has got a lasting power. One of the songs that come to mind easily is a song that he sang in dedication to the late Robert Chasoa, who was a student at the Malawi Polytechnic, and he was brutally murdered. We woke up one day to the news that a young student at the Malawi Polytechnic, which is a constituent college of the University of Malawi, has passed away, and up until today, his killers have not been brought to book. The song is titled Ndigatseka Maso, and it talks about him closing his eyes and imagining what a better world it would be if we still had these people around with us. And it is a very, very good song that up until today, you can go on radio and play it, and people will still relate with it, because it talks about not only Robert Chasoa, who passed on in such circumstances, but so many people who we've lost.
Mafano samina natega maso pa 21 July mafana natega maso fanikiso pira nazatega maso Robert Chasoa batega maso kwa chagambi matafale figmale mafana bilimbira natega maso deba nobano dikhala no maso mafana osamina natega maso fajina Fredo maso sitting natega dagaona business kuchitika a low budget M-dubs.
Hip-hop, a genre heavily associated with violence, hard language, and hate, has some hidden gold in it. Though the dominant view is that hip-hop or rap music is for the violent and uneducated folk, Fredokiss stood up to oppose this hearsay by rapping about real-life issues to reach out to and speak for the people who live in the ghetto.
It's just me, an average guy, an average kid from the ghetto. Yeah, so Fredo is him, me, you, all of us together we make Fredokiss. Because my music is more of, social issues. So Fredo is everybody. Because if you listen to Fredokiss, you can see yourself, you can see your mom, you can see your aunt, you can see your uncle. So Fredokiss is me, you, him, her, everybody, all of us with Fredokiss.
From the depths of the ghetto, Fredokiss learned many lessons he would later cherish in his life. The ghetto gave him the voice, the heart, and the music. With a large following and a commanding voice, Fredokiss turned his music into a weapon of peace and hope. His lyrics address social issues, politics, and love. Fredokiss spoke the language of the people.
Fredokiss timamfira kwambiri. Nyimbo zake olugambira nthemene amamitima muvera kumenya ndaki na JP. Ni muntu oti nyimbo zake zimakaza matanthauzo. Satu mangoimba chimbembe mangonyoza chanchani. Kumaiya maimba nyimbo zophunzitsa. Zoro lwachi nyamata timamfira logero. Ola amadusa timaita kumunyadira kumbuya nyimbo zake. Ola mafesi yake.
Nishana kuti fia manga inspire kwambiri mapita ma lyrics yake. Manyimbo inali yosifia kuti nyimbo iyi kunala kuimfira desenseni. Osati ma next.
As the love for his music grew bigger, so did his dream. Fredokiss started focusing more on positive lyrics and social outreach. His music turned on the light of hope for many youths who became inspired to pursue their dreams and become better citizens of the nation.
I started now recording more of songs that were addressing social issues. I think I started recording songs that were more social commentary, I would say. Why? It's because I think one of the largest influences on my music and my thinking is my father. I think I grew up in a house where every day, I used to hear conversations with a politician. So he's a politician every day. Everybody who walks in, who walks out, they come through, they discuss politics. So I think my socialization had more political elements than otherwise. So this is why it's been easy for me to sort of come up with concepts, songs that are more social commentary.
When you listen to music by Fredokiss, you discover that there are underlying messages of hope. There are messages of compassion and inspiring the youth to be better citizens for tomorrow. And while he's entertaining the youth, at the same time, he's giving them the message of hope. And we know the youth of today and the youth anywhere else in the world love good things. They love to be entertained. And the art is in using the entertainment to teach the youth or to inspire the youth so that they become better citizens. And that is where now the issue of social change comes in as far as Fredokiss music is concerned. And I have noted that through him, people can now look at the ghetto differently, look at the ghetto positively. And even the youth themselves, they can look at themselves positively and start thinking that, we can do this, we can do a lot. Because if Fredokiss is saying that we can do it, probably it is true, we can do it.
Amafuna di ghetto. Amafuna di ghetto. Chifale mafana olepera. Amaona ngati di ghetto ndokuti mulungu kunoku kulibe mulungu alikuwa kokhapo. Tamfana reti. Koma wena sasa kuna music. Kaiwe gere sina vibe batali. Taoma menya ka business kakang'ono. Jajali ndiyo hiyo. Tamfana reti. Aliyese bano mafunika zakale breadwinner tena age. Ngati uyu anakwanitsa hiwe. Gadi huyu anagonis. Iwe ukanika ndichani. Don't settle for less when you know you can do better.
Today, we can say rap music has a new meaning and a new cause. In Malawi, Fredokiss is pioneering it. In 2014, Fredo established Ghetto Shoulder Initiative, a charity organization aimed at supporting vulnerable children and reaching out to the underprivileged groups. In December of 2014, the artist, through the Ghetto Shoulder Initiative, shared lunch with kids at Agape House of Hope in Blantyre to lift their souls and give them a Christmas treat. The event has since evolved into an annual activity recurring every December. The initiative has also reached out to a number of families who were affected by floods.
The Ghetto Shoulder Initiative, what we do is we come together as young people. We identify a project that has an impact, that has a positive impact on our society. For example, over the years, we feed street kids. Like we put Agape House of Hope. This is where there's an evangelist who started Agape House of Hope. They have street kids there. So over the years, we've been going there every Christmas. We provide lunch, drinks, and we interact with the kids. We have sessions, life skills sessions. We do motivational talks with these kids. So it's been going on for a long time. There was a time when we had floods. They had affected most of our townships in Blantyre and other parts of Malawi. So we reached out to almost 300 households, I think, in Durand. So these are some of the activities that are done under the Ghetto Shoulder Initiative. We are not funded by anybody else. We mobilize resources on our own, the little we have, and then we identify a project of need. Under the Ghetto Shoulder Initiative, we also have the Fredokiss Scholarship. The Fredokiss Scholarship has benefited almost 100 students now. These are students in secondary schools and students that have been given a chance to study IT skills, phone repairing skills at Looptech. So I think the Fredokiss Scholarship is under the Ghetto Shoulder Initiative. So we've had activities, and we hope we grow with the initiative. We hope we reach out to as many young people, as many human beings as possible.
Recently, Fredokiss held a series of free music concerts across Malawi, which ranked him as one of Africa's biggest crowd-pulling artists and Malawi's biggest crowd puller.
Through his free concerts throughout the country, Fredokiss managed to make the youth feel part of him. He made the youth to feel that the celebrities, the musicians are normal people just like them.
Before I met Fredo, I used to do small-scale events, but then when I came in contact with him, that's when he told me and he told our team to believe in ourselves and that we can make bigger events that could attract thousands as his events went. And I could not even picture ourselves pulling their large crowds like those, especially when people could not partner with us on events. When people could despise us when making free events, no one pictured us to reach this far with the events, and it's only thanks to music that has pushed us to go this far.
When it comes to shows, I remember it was 2008 when we went to Ndilandi with him. 2008, long time ago. So we are passing by there where we had a free show, Ndilandi Baho. So he was telling me, "Hey Rush, I'm thinking we should have a show here in Dix, like a free show." So there's two places there. There's a place down there where only it only accommodates only a few people. So I was thinking that I couldn't even believe him saying that he want to do a show there. So I was like, yeah, bro, we can do it down there because down there is where we can do it. So he said, no, man, I need it there, up there. And I'm like, oh, dude, come on, man. That place is for politicians, Only politicians are the ones that feel that that's best. So he's like, no, bro, we're going to do the show there. It was 2008, long time ago. And last year, I think he had the dream that he's going to do the show, free show there, 2008, though I wasn't even believing it. So when we started preparing it as a friend and as part of the team, even actually myself, I couldn't actually believe it, that the show is going to be that successful, fortunately, the show was very, very successful. Yeah.
So we had these thousands and thousands of, I think, young people, young and old, who attended our concerts. We had mobile clinics set up. These were sort of entrepreneurship platforms. We had young people coming through, selling stuff, making something out of the concerts. We had, young people getting to know their HIV status. We had young people accessing contraceptives. We had young people, sharing ideas. We had young people looking at me on stage, being inspired. So we had all these thousands of young people inspiring me to believe in myself more, inspiring my team to believe in ourselves more. So we had all these embassies, these ambassadors, international community, joining us, supporting us, showing that commitment for young people. We had the corporate world. We had NBS Bank, showing their commitment to young people, believing in talent. So this is where now we clearly see the link between, or how music is being used as a tool for social change, as a tool for a positive difference, because we have young people, thousands. These were the biggest crowds, I think, musical crowds in the history of Malawi. No violence, no stampede. It was just fun, social issues. It was just fun, public health issues being addressed. It was fun, access to contraceptives, family planning methods. It was fun, young ones getting to know their HIV status. It was fun. We had organizations that are into environmental conservation activities. These are platforms where we sort of engaged with a lot of players. We sort of engaged with a lot of stakeholders for a positive change. We had the wildlife, the British High Commission with the wildlife messages. We had African parks there. We had the rangers. We had almost 3,000 young people sign up as champions for wildlife. So even the numbers of young people that access services, contraceptives, it was overwhelming. I think this is a clear demonstration of what music can do. This is a clear demonstration of how powerful this tool is in our hands.
PSI Malawi decided to partner with the Fredokiss shows because we know Fredokiss is drawing a lot of clients, mainly the youth, to access the music show he's doing out there. So as a lot of youth are coming to his show, we feel like that's the best opportunity for us to provide services and give them information about family planning and the like. The youth are not comfortable to be involved where the large women are having access to family planning methods, but they want to be isolated in a separate place. So in that area is where they are all alone, interacting only the youth. So we want to utilize that opportunity so that they are free to express whatever they have in their mind.
Among those who supported the concerts include His Excellency Jürgen Bosch, the German ambassador to Malawi.
Ngono Ngono, here in Zuzu at the Fredokiss Festival. I'm excited to support his project, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk to you today. My message of today is very simple and goes out to you, Mayo, the young people of Malawi. 75% of the population are under 35 years old. That shows you are the future, and the future starts now. Germany is often called the land of ideas. I think Malawi can be a great land of ideas as well. So go ahead, unlock your talents, release your potential. It's in your hands. Go out with your innovative ideas. Be creative Be bold. Think in small steps, but never lose the big goal. It's up to you. No time to lose. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. Nobody should do it for you. You should do it by yourself. Thank you. Hear what you mean.
The Irish Ambassador and the Irish Embassy, together with the Mbaula Network.
Fredokiss, as you may know, has been holding free concerts targeting the youth. And through the National Cook Stoves campaign, we are really pleased to have this opportunity to partner with him in Mzuzu. Malawi is justifiably world famous for its friendly, young people and pristine natural environment. But less than 11% of households here have access to electricity. And when it comes to cooking, 96% of Malawian homes rely on firewood or charcoal. As a result, every year Malawi is losing 2.3% of its valuable forestry cover.
Hi, my name is
Her Excellency Holly Tet and the British High Commission.
I'm here today to talk about population and population growth. It's a real challenge in this country. It's already a poor country. It has about 17 million people here, and that is set to double by 2030. That is going to put a huge amount of pressure on resources, a huge amount of pressure on services. So it's absolutely essential that we tackle this issue, especially through family planning. And that is why the UK is putting a large amount of resource into making sure that young people, all women, have access to sexual reproductive health services so that they can delay the amount of time before they have their first children. It's really fantastic that Fredokiss is going to be talking about some of these messages this weekend at his event, and I really urge you to go along to hear the messages that he is giving and also to have a huge amount of fun in the process.
He is currently the brand ambassador for NBS Bank.
Fredokiss, for us, we saw him as more than just an artist. We saw him as a visionary as well, because he was really using his music to inspire the youth, or he uses his music to inspire the youth. And when you look at his background, he's got a degree, he's formally employed, which is a great message to youth as well, showing them that, you know, they have no limitations. They can follow their dreams and their passions. And I think as big brands, we should really be inspired to help the youth achieving their dreams, no matter what their dreams may be. So for us, music, particularly hip-hop music, is probably not an area where people would think a bank or a corporate organization like NBS Bank would delve into. But we saw what his message was doing, and we saw that if we align with his message, it would be better able to reach out to the youth to understand their needs and to address these needs. And I think from our perspective, the partnership has been very beneficial, mutually beneficial, in terms that we better understand the segment and we are able to develop products that speak better to the youth. But we are also partnering with Fredokiss in other areas. As you know, he has a passion of reaching out to the less privileged youth that he terms the ghetto youth. And we are coming on board to find ways in which we can inspire them and support their business ideas. And you'll see this rolling out in the next few months.
We are praying to create 1 million jobs and business opportunities. We needed a financial engine. So NBS Bank is a caring bank. It has got most of the products that NBS Bank is pushing there, the products that are targeting the masses. There's that element of social inclusivity in what NBS does. So for me, NBS Bank, it's not just about profits. It's a caring bank. So in creating 1 million jobs and business opportunities, we needed a financial institution that has got a caring element, that has products, that is willing to put out products that are aimed at empowering the masses. So NBS Bank tops that. The championship or the ambassadorship for wildlife. I think to some would say, you know, wildlife is not a priority. It is a priority. Wildlife, as a country, we don't produce oil. We don't have diamonds, as it is official. We don't have gold that could sustain our economy. So I think quite a big chunk of our economy is supported by tourism. I want to grow up in 10 years from now, 15 years from now. We would love, the tourism industry to be as strong as it is or stronger. The only way we can do that is when this generation starts taking care of wildlife. Wildlife meaning, the plants, the animals. We've got a lot of animals. For example, we had 2,000 elephants in Malawi. Is it 10 years ago? 2,000 elephants in Kasumu. Now we have less than 200 elephants. So it means our earning capacity, our economy as a whole, if we go down that route where we no longer have elephants, we no longer have these endangered species, I think there'll be less reason why someone would want to visit Malawi. So that also affects our earning capacity as a country. So I think I've got an obligation, it's my duty to make sure we have a Malawi that is economically stable 20 years, 50 years, 100 years from now. So we're doing it for the next generation. I want my grandchild, my granddaughter to be able to see an elephant right here in Malawi. We don't want to switch where we should now become tourists. We should go to other countries to see these animals that we have today.
Seeing the influence that he has on young people from poor backgrounds, UNICEF Malawi decided to partner with Fredokiss to use his influence to amplify issues affecting children in Malawi. UNICEF and Fredokiss signed a memorandum of understanding, appointing him as UNICEF Malawi's first champion for children. UNICEF champions for children are prominent individuals from art, entertainment, sport, or other fields of public life who contribute to raising awareness of children's rights in support of UNICEF's work and advocacy for children. The partnership will include, among other areas, Fredokiss's support in promoting key messages on ending child marriage and preventing school dropout, and supporting UNICEF with U-Report, a citizen real-time polling platform. Fredokiss will support the U-Report launch and play a major role in influencing young people to join and share their opinions on matters of importance to them.
I took up the UNICEF role because it makes me a better person. It helps me in my efforts at being a better human being, because UNICEF looks at every child. UNICEF aims at creating a supportive environment for each and every child out there. So I remember when I was growing up as a child, I faced a lot of challenges, and I think I've come this far because there was someone to take care for me. I think there was someone to look out for me. So UNICEF is an entity that aims at taking care of each and every child. So our partnership with UNICEF makes me helps me in my efforts at becoming a better human being, because I'm part of a system that is aiming at taking care of children. That's UNICEF.
Like a soldier, he is relentlessly fighting on with his life to serve more. Fredo believes ghetto is not a permanent situation in life. With his music, he has gone to all parts of the country, spreading the message of hope, love, and peace. With multiple awards under his belt, a fan base too numerous to count, Fredokiss is indeed king of the ghetto, and his music continues to inspire youth to be responsible citizens and to work hard for their dreams.